So I got on a call with not Dave, right? I needed to understand how on earth someone could win $100,000 in scholarship. How on earth, and how is this money even apportioned? Now, Dave completed his bachelor's at Kane University, which is Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, back in Ghana. He was the best student in his class. Also, obviously, graduated with first class honors, and that was in civil engineering. He's currently pursuing PhD at Northeastern University in Massachusetts. Now he has something to share with us. Okay, I'm even confused. How is this? How is it possible to win 100K, and how is it even apportioned? Nat, speak to us.
All right, that's fine. Kindly give me some few seconds. I don't want to do any mistake with the figures. First, most of you are bent on knowing the composition of my scholarship. So this is it. All right. I have, let me just read from the offer letter. Okay. For each year of funding, you receive a stipend for your PhD program. Should I even mention it? Of 42,255 US dollars, a tuition waiver equivalent to 59,904, and funding for your Northeastern Student Health Insurance Plan. This funding will be provided to you in the form of a research assistantship and teaching assistantship as well as fellowship, and you will receive notice of future assignments prior to each term. And they also talked about some bonus. Let me read that paragraph 2. To further improve your experience in our PhD programs, our department is delighted to inform you that you'll be qualified for receiving a one-time discretionary bonus of 5,000 US dollars to help you foster your professional development and to settle into life in Boston at Northeastern University once you begin your program. So that's it. So the values that I've quoted is just for 8 months. I'll be schooling, or I'll be taking courses in the fall and spring semesters. But as I think I've already mentioned this, during the summer, I'll most likely be in Europe. Yeah, that's even one of the reasons why I accepted this offer. I had multiple offers, but this offer looked very, very, very good, and I didn't even have to think twice about it. And the advisor I'll be working with is, I mean, one of the best in the field. I wouldn't want to mention his name, but he is widely known. He obtained all his 3 degrees from MIT. Right. So that's it. So whilst during the summer school, I'll be taking additional stipend. I don't know how much that's going to be. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Now, Dave, for you to win such a scholarship, I believe that your purpose statement was also very powerful. What are some of the essentials that you think that we can include in our statement of purpose or our purpose statement that can really sell our profile?
All right. All right. So based on my experience, I realized that every school has their own statement of purpose, or some even call it personal statement. Some require that you submit both of them. They have their own prompts. So they are going to tell you this and this and this and that are what we want you to talk about. Kindly hold on. Let me see whether I can find some of the prompts. So this is from MIT. MIT broke my heart. They gave me, they denied my admission, and even the letter that they gave me wasn't on the letterhead. So unprofessional. So how can I even boast that I applied to MIT and got rejected? Because that letter doesn't look official at all. That's just by the way. Yeah, so that's an advice to all of you. Don't think your academic credentials are too good, and then if you apply to MIT, you're going to get in. MIT has been rejecting world champions every year. People who have won International Physics Olympiad, International Maths Olympiad gets rejected every year, right? So don't be too ambitious. I'm not saying don't apply to those schools, but you can apply to some really top schools. I mean, middle schools. I mean, you get it, all right? So that's just by the way. So these are some of the prompts, or this is what MIT wanted me to talk about in my statement of purpose. All right. So bullet one: describe the reasons you are interested in this program and discuss any relevant past experience. If you have relevant work or research experience, please indicate how it helped you decide on your career path. What are your post graduation plans or career goals? So, after everything, I'm going to tell you how I handled each of these prompts in my essay. Next bullet, what do you hope to gain from this program? And what about this program excites you? And the last bullet is, if there are any special circumstances that need to be brought to the attention of the admission committee, please include that information. So maybe you failed in one of your undergraduate courses and you would want to explain to them the reason for your failure. Maybe you lost your dad, or something, right? So that's about it. And every school has their own prompts. Of course, there are similarities, all right. But I would want to give some general SOP tips, all right. So the first one has got to do with you capturing the reader's attention. You see, some essays are boring. And let me tell you what actually happens, right? So I've attended a lot of graduate school webinars, and that's what they say, right? If you realize that your essay is boring, they don't even continue reading your essay, they will just trash your application. That's especially when they have so many applications, right? So they don't review everyone's application, right? So that's it. You should ensure that your essay captures the reader's attention, and that will force the reader to read from the beginning to the end, all right? The next one is to keep to the word limit. All right? So MIT said, we recommend that your personal statement be between 250 and 1,000 words. Your application, so they added that your application will not be negatively impacted should you exceed this recommendation, but you always have to try as much as possible to keep to the word limit. And they may also provide specific instructions. MIT was talking about the text being double spaced, all margins being at least 1 inch to the left, right, top, bottom, 10 points, Arial font or Times New Roman, and all those stuff. Those stuff are school specific, all right? So I think so many students struggle with that, keeping to the word limits. You can do this by setting for yourself section word limits, all right? So if you're expected to write 1,500 word essay, you may want to divide it into sections. Maybe if you have 6 sections, then you dedicate it shouldn't necessarily be the same, but let's say roughly 250 words to each section, all right? The next tip I'll give is that be selective. You don't have to talk about everything. If it's about your achievements, some of them supersede the other. You've had internship, or you've completed internship with a number of companies. You may want to talk about just 1 or 2, the ones you completed in reputable firms. You don't necessarily have to talk about everything, because that's not going to score you any more points, all right? And the next tip I would want to give is you should use appropriate language. So you have to demonstrate that you have a solid command of the English language. You have to avoid slang. You have to use vocabulary that are appropriate to your field, right? So I was applying to a civil engineering program, so I tried as much as possible to use civil engineering vocabulary. Maybe I can take you through my personal statement. So,
Now, guys, in fact, if you want to listen to the full thing, you don't need to sign up. You just go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts through the link I've left in my video description. You don't even need to sign up. Just click and listen to the whole thing. It's almost 2 hours. And I know that by the time you are done, you'll be inspired. You'll be inspired in your journey, and you know that you too can do it. Thank you, Nat, and we will talk. We'll find some special time to talk. I believe you're enlightened by this podcast session. Don't forget to stay connected, as I'll be bringing you more episode after episode. This is a Study Abroad experience. Then a legend here.